Good evening, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time of day you may be listening to this. We're back. We are returning. We are here once more. Fear not. Once again, for the time being, we have returned. I, as always, am one of the masters of this fine vessel.
And I'm the mistress.
The cabin boy has arrived.
Yeah. Who are you?
I'm the master. They know me in my friend groups as the master. All my friends call that to me.
Okay. And for the public?
L master. It's more broad. It's got more of a diversity involved in there. So
yeah. Thinking about accessing other audiences. Which, by the way, Lewis, we are global by our analytics. We're all over the place. I know where like some of the people who are listening to our podcast are from. It's like, oh yeah, Norway. I know who that guy is. But then it's like random places. I don't know who's in Denmark. Who's in Denmark listening to our shit? I don't know.
Comment. Let us know. Where are you?
Right? Where are the commenters? Just anyone. Just no one's talking.
When was the last time you went outside?
And I am Isaac Harwood, the prettier of the two.
It's a bold statement.
The bold statement. Is that...
I didn't say that, but I should have.
You should have. You definitely should have. Lewis, I've got a dog.
Okay, so moving on to recent stuff. Like, what the fuck? Who cares? No, people on the internet love dogs. Isaac, tell us about the dog.
Well, it's not always my dog. It's actually my dad's dog. Her name is Dora, and she's 12 or 13, something like that. I was actually there when they brought her home as a puppy, so she's kind of my dog. And I'm just warning you, well, I mean, she's just asleep on the sofa right now, but she may whinge or fart, or both. So I just thought I'd give you a little warning. Other than that...
Not very much different from every other week what I hear in my headphones from your end.
Whinging and farting. A slow leak. Just all the time. What
Noxious.
What have you been up to, like, in the kind of short term? The most recent of the few days? What's your recent stuff?
Oh, the stuff which I've been doing recently. Mm-hmm. One could geniusly name it. Yep. Well, Isaac, I've been reading another book. I've decided to just lean into the fact that I look like a right specky little bastard.
You said that
on
last
this.
time.
I know.
I've never heard you say specky outside of this podcast.
I know. Well, I'm more creative.
Is it like spectacles?
I believe it's bespectacled, yeah, because people who wear glasses are nerds.
Yeah, I mean, how outdated is that shit? All right, specky nerd. What book have you read?
So I've been reading a chap called David Goggins, his biography. Okay. Don't know if you've heard of him. You probably haven't. So he is a guy who runs like ultra marathons. He used to be a Navy SEAL. He does like loads of incredible endurance things. Like, I can't remember all the details, but one of the things, it was like the 800 or something like that, where he did something like run 100 miles or 800. It was something ridiculous, like hundreds of miles every weekend for 800 weekends in a row. 800. Without fail.
800. I can barely contemplate 800 weekends.
I know. Like, this guy is a machine. Like, he had a really rough upbringing, was beaten by his dad, and, like, all this sort of shit. He tried to get into, like, pararescue in the army, but couldn't swim for shit, so failed. It's quite important. Jumping into water, you need to be able to swim. But stayed in the military, and then like he left, and he wanted to get back in, but he was like 106 pounds, so like over 50 kilos overweight. And they were like, well, training starts in 3 months. You've got 3 months to lose it. And he fucking did. He lost over 50 kilos in like 3 months. His like what he was doing, he was eating like 800 calories at the time. He was on an exercise bike for like 6 hours a day, plus he was in the gym doing like 600 rep sets of things. Basically, he's just an absolute...
So he just worked out for 3 months straight.
but then went into the Navy SEAL, what they call buds training. So, and there's this part of it called Hell Week where they keep you awake for 130 hours and it's just all physical torture, like running into the ocean, freezing cold, coming back out, 200 sit-ups, back into the ocean, back out, all this sort of thing for like 130 hours. And this guy, he got medically taken out of it the first time because his knee was so bad he couldn't walk, but he was trying to stay in. Next time he actually got through that Hell Week bit, but the whole training's like 6 months long. And then, right at the end of it, they were just like, bro, you stop it, you can't walk. We're getting you out of here. Third time he went through it, he was just like, nothing is going to stop me this time. He ended up having stress fractures all throughout both of his shins. So he basically had broken legs, and he just thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to duct tape them up. He basically soft casted his legs with duct tape every single day, like wrapping them as tightly as he could so that like it would stop them from swelling up and getting worse. And then he's all like this mind over matter sort of thing, but he's genuinely mad. He's genuinely mad. Like,
there's an issue in there somewhere, undiagnosed.
Well, you know the film American Sniper?
Kind of.
Guy who it's a Bradley Cooper film. He's like, war hero sort of thing. The second time that he went through this training, he was in his class. So he actually so he knows some and loads of the people, like that guy was... There's the Mark Wahlberg film, like The Lone Survivor as well. Like, he knew him, and he, went through training with a bunch of these guys. And then when a bunch of them got killed at one point, he was just like, I'm going to raise some money by doing this ultra marathon thing. But to qualify, he had to do, 100-mile race, and he had to complete it in a certain amount of time. And it was, a week away. He had done no training. He got to, 80 miles in. His kidney started shutting down, so he was pissing chunks of his kidneys out. He got up to try and go to the toilet because he was sitting in a chair resting, couldn't get up, so just shat himself. And then was just started walking. He was just okay, I just need to stand up. I just need to take one step, and then just did that. And then his wife was just like, dude, you're not going to make it. You got 19 miles to go. You cannot do it. And he just found this power within to just do it, and he just finished the race his kidneys shutting down, pissing blood, covered in his own shit. He'd got stress fractures in his ankles as well. He's just it's a really, really interesting guy and book, but he's genuine. There is something wrong with this man.
I was going to say, that's just straight up masochism, and now no one has to read it because I think you might have just covered everything in the book.
Oh no, there's so much more.
What's the David Goggins? It must have a name, the book, or is it just David Goggins?
I believe it does, but all you need to do is just search for his biography. I'll see if I can.
Should probably have
There's a little toot for you there, everyone. I don't prepare for these things. We're all about improv.
Improv. A toot, a mouth toot. Did you just call
a little mouth toot? Can't hurt me. Master your mind and defy the odds.
A terrible title.
Yeah, they should have just called it "Can't Hurt Me."
Or just David Goggins, yeah. That's
the
insane.
David Goggins tale.
All right, well, you've been ranting long enough. It's my turn. Thank you, Lewis, for your specky little book. My one, way cooler, it's what they do in I think NFL locker rooms and stuff. So far away from your
gay shit.
Butt stuff. No, I am going to do another RPG, Lewis. Another one.
Oh my! We're really falling into real bad trends that we just do. I like to read and I like to play games.
I fucking love RPGs. Here's another one: The Quiet Year. It's called The Quiet Year. Designed and written by Avery Alder. Design insights from Jackson Tegu. That's just a guy who sits in a room next to you and is like, yeah, that's a good idea, right? Design insights.
Or he's just nah, that sounds shit. He's just eating a bag of crisps.
Get fucked, you're getting credited on my game. I designed and wrote it, but you had some insights. Okay, sure. And illustrations.
It's like with your book when that gets released. I hope to be. Thank you, Lewis, for your insights.
You read it once, I guess.
But I wrote notes.
You did. You did a great job. Anyway, first released in 2013, and it's been redrafted since then. Okay, so this is a map drawing, GM-less RPG for, I think, between 2 and 4 players.
Right.
The premise is civilization has collapsed after some war with the jackals. It doesn't matter. Civilization's collapsed. You are emerging with your community back into the world to reclaim it, to survive. So you've got a small community of people, like a kind of village worth, I guess. And as a group, you draw a little map and basically annotate it, but not with words, always with little symbols and pictures and stuff. And you have a deck of cards which goes through the seasons. So it's all 52 cards in the deck. And each one starts in spring. Things are great. You're getting out into the world. It gives you like suggestions and confrontations and conflicts and stuff. So it kind of directs you as you go. Because it feels a bit, when you describe it to someone, they're a bit like overwhelmed, like, oh my god, I've got to come up with this whole story all by myself. But the cards really help it along. And you play through a year of this community's life. And but week by week, essentially. And at the end, the Frost Shepherds come and the game ends. Who knows what the Frost Shepherds are? It's just a way of saying the game ends. You've got 1 year to play the game, essentially. Super fun.
What's the like goal of the game? What are you trying to achieve?
It's just a map drawing, community building exercise. But it's really fun. Like, so it can go in like completely random directions. So what we played? We played in basically a standard jungle, standard desert. We did a spaceship just cruising through deep space, and the last one was inside a giant mega museum, like a museum the size of a city, and it just stupid shit comes up. So in at least 2 of our games, it's happened where the teenagers have essentially rebelled against the community and we end up sacrificing them.
Well, the teenagers or the adults get sacrificed?
It's been the teenagers twice, I think, and the elderly population once. So at the beginning, you draw a map feature each, and and the first one I did was just a pit of fire, inexplicable fire, just pouring out of this pit
in the spaceship.
So this was in the jungle, I think, and we just like chucked all the teenagers in there for rebelling against us. We've had snake people versus mecha men. It's fucking insane, and it's just really fun. Great for the group. You don't need any kind of proper rules. It's a good one. The Quiet Year, 2013, super easy. That's my recent stuff, Lewis.
Fair enough. Sounds good.
Are you, Lewis? Are you prepared? Have you
Isaac? What on earth could I be prepared for?
Have you been doing the training that I recommended? The stretches.
The stretches. I've been attending Pilates, one might say.
Okay, so I think you're probably just about ready, like I am.
Mm-hmm.
Ready to
tell the people, Isaac.
Stuff this butt.
I
can never remember if we go with stuff this butt or let's get stuffing. Either way, they're both great.
We'll put them both on T-shirts when we become, rich and famous.
So, Lewis, I have a randomly generated fight of pop culture icons.
Yes,
it's a doozy.
Yes, Queen.
It's a doozy. Because I remember random generated, there are 5 moving parts here. We've got 2 weapons, 2 pop culture icons, and a location, right? So what are the chances? What are the chances that they line up like this, Lewis? Lewis, today you will be Spider-Man.
Of course.
With a keg of pina colada, my favourite cocktail. Not good for the waistline, but a good cocktail. Spider-Man,
very fatty.
Yeah.
Coconut milk, a lot of calories.
Oh, hell yeah. Spider-Man with a keg of pina colada versus Iron Man with
Iron Man,
a bottle of vodka. So they're both wasted in a crowded soft play centre.
Makes a lot of sense.
Lots of children. Maybe they're entertaining.
Well, classic of Iron Man to just turn up drunk.
Is that Iron Man?
The whole saga in the comics in there about that.
Is there actually?
Oh, there's a whole saga about like how he's just become this alcoholic and he just hates himself.
I thought you were just being mean to Robert Downey Jr.
Oh no. I mean, it's quite reflective of his own troubles. And let us be honest, in Iron Man 2, he looks like he's developing a solid drinking problem.
Yeah, he's doing all right. Yeah, not as bad as Mickey Rourke, or whoever plays that Whiplash guy.
Oh, that's just the actor.
Yeah, he just looks bad. Okay, I'm going to roll this die, and I'm going to see what number I have, and that's going to determine who's going first. That's how dice rolls work. Mine was a 1.
Mine was a 5.
Holy shit.
Oh my God.
Spider-Man's got that speed. Okay, Lewis.
Okay.
Take it away. Crowded soft play center, Spider-Man, keg of pina colada. Let's go.
Well, as we all know, Spider-Man, he does whatever a Spider-Man can. And a Spider-Man can drink. So he's going to be taking an off day. Maybe he's there with MJ. Maybe he's got a little, like, spider kid. Who knows?
Okay.
We need to definitively go for a version of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So
Zombie Spider-Man.
I'm gonna go with the classic Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Classic. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the 30-year-old man.
Yeah, pretending to be a 16-year-old boy.
Yeah.
So it zooms in on.
As I do on the weekends in crowded soft play centers.
Yes. I'm only 16.
Come and play.
Sir, please. Sir, step away from the children. So it's gonna like zoom. It's gonna like pan into him slowly, and it's gonna go. Oh boy, bet you don't know how I ended up here. My name's Peter Parker. So at the entrance to the first film, it's just like I'm not really allowed it. No, he's not a pedo. It's fine. Peter Parker.
Sidebar, Lewis. Crowded soft play center, not really allowed here. I once went to a crowded soft play center next door to the crowded.
And they kicked you out?
No, next door to the crowded soft play center was like a wildlife reserve, and I was just sitting at a table. Becca was on parent duty, and I was like, "What the fuck is that? Is that a squirrel in the corner of my eye?" And it was a marmoset. It's like a small monkey like creature in the fucking soft play, and the kids went fucking nuts, and it climbed up all the shit. Kids just like banging on stuff, not a single parent stopping them. Poor fucking marmoset. Anyway, don't put your soft play centre next to a wildlife sanctuary. Anyway.
Or do a better job of keeping your animals inside your zoo.
Yeah.
I mean, equal. Yeah. I mean, it's not really the soft place fault, I would say.
So what was your first move? Your first move is zooming in on a camera.
No, it's not zooming in on a camera. It's a camera zooming in on Peter Parker dressed up as Spider-Man. He's just he's
cosplaying Spider-Man.
Okay. He's just like in one of the little tunnel bits. He's just like had a real harrowing day against Green Goblin. And he keeps a barrel of pina coladas on the roof here, and he just goes in there to sort of change and have a drink. He's sort of webbed up both ends of the tunnel so no one can get in. And yeah, he's just chilling.
So his move is like unawareness of Iron Man, basically. Like he has no idea that there's about to be a fight.
Well, he hasn't seen Iron Man.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah, okay.
It's a scene setter.
I'm establishing it. Okay.
He's just having a little drink to take the edge off of the day.
Iron Man comes smashing through like quite a high up window, like a spherical window. He's
like a hero.
He's missing like maybe one boot, and he's like a bit scratched up. If he had like a wing mirror, it'd be like bent off. And he's got a bottom. his
going mirror.
His helmet, his face helmet is lifted, and he's just like swigging the dregs of a bottle of vodka, and the glass just like raining down on children, and he's just wasted. He's like, where the hell's my garage? And he's clearly clear and present. danger to the children.
So, what version of Iron Man is this? Are we going with the MCU?
That's kind of the best one I know the most, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to have to be an earlier suit if he's missing a boot. No nanotech here, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say it's Iron Man 2 Iron Man, so he's like not in a good place mentally.
It's the one he makes in a cave. It's like a tank.
Oh god!
No. No, we'll go the like classic Iron Man 1 suit.
The red suit, so like the Mark III?
I don't fucking know. Yeah,
Sure. Okay, so Spider-Man hears this and thinks, oh, Garby's come along, and I'm not going to try and do the accent.
No,
Gobby's come along. Gobby's come along here. He must be outside. So he sort of peeks through rips a hole in the net and looks out and sees Iron Man then. And he sort of sees it's Iron Man, sort of swings out and goes, Mr. Stark, what are you doing? And tries to, like, any bits of glass that are still falling from the window, he's just like, just trying to web them and stop them from falling. Because he's a hero.
Piece of shit. Where's my car? Fucking valet. And he's gonna just, like, try and pulse beam whatever his hand things do at Spider-Man. Because he's pissed that the valet hasn't brought his car yet.
Mm-hmm. Are there children in the direct line of fire behind me?
100%. It's crowded. It's crowded soft play centre. They're everywhere. They're like little rats.
Okay. That's true. So, seeing just before the repulsors hit him, because he's so fast.
That's the fucking word,
yes.
Yeah.
He's gonna zap his web at the fire alarm.
Okay.
He goes every time he fires. The long one is swing Oh, sorry everyone at home. Yeah, he's gonna and web the fire alarm to set that off to really encourage everyone that's not caught on to move and get out of there.
Yeah, that'll help the panic.
And then he's going to take the hit from the repulsors to save the small children.
Okay.
He knows that they're behind him. But as he takes the hit and then starts falling back, he's going to do a classic web up and try and get Iron Man in the face.
Ooh, okay. I think... once again, Jarvis is here, I guess. As we did with Pikachu. Jarvis is probably kind of caretaking as much as he can, and maybe that just like puts the helmet down, just gets the web, like kind of glances off the helmet a bit, and I think Tony just gets pissed that he can't get the vodka bottle in his mouth anymore, so he like smashes it on his knee and just charge flies towards Spider-Man to try and like fly tackle him. He's drunk, he's kind of swirling around, and he's got a smash bottle.
Okay, it's a classic backflip. Backflipping through the air to avoid Iron Man. And as he goes over, just sort of trying to web up one of the one repulsor boot that he has on.
Mm-hmm.
And then seeing that Iron Man is drunk, we can't leave the area. That's a rule. We can't lead him away. So he's then going to swing over to the tunnel that he was hiding in with his keg of pina colada, and sort of rip off the webbing on one side, start pulling out the barrel and going, "Hey, Mr. Stark, I got you a drink."
Oh. Hey, a drink? It doesn't feel quite in character for Iron Man to be just... I don't think he's not like attacking children or anything. He's not evil. He's just kind of delirious.
Misguided.
Yeah. And he hears Peter Parker say, "Peter, is that you?" And he's gonna try and come over, and he sees that the keg is in your hand. He's like, "You stole my keg too!" And he's going to... What would he doesn't have like... Maybe there's like little shoulder rockets kind of just like click upwards, and inside the helmet it's just like locked on all of the like little red circles all on Peter Parker's different spider bits, and
Spider bits.
And he shoots out those rockets in those kind of spiraling streams, as he does in the first movie when he takes out the terrorists. So
okay.
split second.
yeah, well, Spidey's going to do a second classic backflip, and then he's going to do one of those things. I've definitely seen it in some Spider-Man mediums where he's sort of like swinging himself, but also carrying something else by sort of flipping it along.
Okay.
So he's sort of trying to protect himself in the barrel, and he says, "Mr. Stark, I'll save this for you." He sort of like gets it down in a corner and then punches through the top to open it, and says, "Here, you can have a drink," and then sort of zips away again quickly, and he's sort of trying to lay a trap to he's like running up quickly then to one of the like padded things around one of the poles in the soft play center, and sort of rips that off, and he's going to try and like smother him.
Okay, so those missiles, I guess, as you're backflipping and dodging, they're kind of like exploding around. Kids
killing the children.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Oh, I don't know. Ooh, I feel like that would snap. No, I think it conveniently misses children. There's like some hero mums and dads just like pulling things out of the way, and most of the kids
or just Jarvis.
Most of the kids are like backed up to the side. Yeah, Jarvis jamming the rockets or something. I don't think
doesn't stop them from firing, but just jamming.
I mean, strippers in the strip club with Aunt May, they were fair game, but a bunch of kids, and let's not obliterate them as much as I kind of want to. Okay, going for the smothering with the pole suppression device.
He's not done it yet. He's sort of like ready to pounce. He's tried to lure Iron Man over to the keg of pina colada.
So he's trying to like incapacitate.
He's ready to.
Yeah. Okay. Given the spirit of Iron Man, where he is a bit of a drunkard, I think he's gonna go for the keg and pick it up, but Jarvis isn't letting him open his helmet. I'll give you the kind of not the benefit of the doubt. I'll give you the opportunity as Stark is distracted. He can't get the keg in. He's getting pissed off at Jarvis. What are you gonna do with your foam rubber thing?
Well, he's sort of okay. So he's webbing one of Iron Man's good boot, even though it's covered in webbing now, so it's not really like helping him fly. And doing that thing where he's above him, so he attaches it to the ceiling. So all of a sudden, Iron Man is being hung upside down. He then pulls up the barrel and pulls it down the empty leg, missing the boot.
Okay.
So it's like filling him up with pina colada from the inside of the suit to say, "This will help you calm down, Mr. Stark." As he's like kicked the soft play like covering mat thing underneath him in case he falls. So he's almost trying to like. He's not trying to kill him, but he is certainly trying to get him so drunk he just passes out because he doesn't want to hurt him.
Okay.
But he could also drown him inside his own suit.
I think Iron Man maybe hasn't been completely like genuinely out of it in this situation, and now he's like Spider-Man's in like is one sit up away from being in reach. Because he's upside down, right? So Spider-Man's above him, holding his leg.
He's dangling. No, he's dangling from the ceiling by a web.
Okay, so
he's not like right there, but I mean, let's say he's a couple meters away.
And Iron Man can fly. I think Iron Man's gonna like 180 himself, so he like bursts his repulsors down to like flip himself up towards Spider-Man and just go towards him, but
pendulum.
Yeah, and he kind of comes up and slaps like something onto Spider-Man's chest, and it's just like
AIDS.
It's just AIDS. It's just like a little circular sticky thing with a little blue flashing light goes do 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 do, and it's just gonna send like an electromagnetic pulse through Spider-Man.
Oh shit.
Yeah. We're falling, aren't we?
Yeah, I would say, well, Iron Man hasn't got his boots, so he can't really fly. He was more hanging. And Spider-Man's definitely was just gripping on, so he's just going to fall like a fucking stone.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I put that mat underneath.
So you're in a soft place, so like all the places to fall.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to have to take a beat if that doesn't just continuously shock him. It might just be continuously shocking.
I think it's an incapacitated, and I think Iron Man comes down and just like clamps his hands together behind. I'm not thinking he's got like handcuffs on him, but he's got something which will just like tie Peter's hands together, and he's just like, yeah, that's right, you're coming with me. And he's just gonna, start dragging him away. Is that it?
If it's a continuous shock, I don't think there's much he can do. He's just there, just like, why?
Yes! I gotta win!
You did.
Yes!
I would say that that's a win. Drunken Iron Man beating sober Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But I didn't. I wanted it to feel in character. I don't feel. If we are talking, I know that Raimi Spider-Man and the MCU Iron Man don't have that like sort of link, but Spider-Man's a good guy. If he knows it's a good guy.
Yeah.
He'll do what's necessary to stop him. But
pulling punches big time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I just think Tony Stark's just got all those gadgets and shit, and he kind of gets, he goes for what he wants, and he usually gets it. So yeah, it's not. I think it's fair. It's fair. It's a fair ending on that one. Okay, well, my butt's only like a quarter full. I think there's a lot more stuff I can get in there, and thankfully we have just a tall, cold pint glass of stuff to pour in. With this, I guess we could call it a movie, Lewis. Movie stuff. This is. I'll just start us off. I know I usually start the movies, but I like to. This is Neil Breen's 2018 Twisted Pear. Now, at first, I thought that was like a fruit pear. But it's,
or a medical condition.
Nice. But no, it's more like the twin pair, or a pair of shoes. And this guy, he's a bit like Tommy Wiseau and The Room. He's kind of become a cult favourite for being fucking terrible. But at least The Room had like a proper camera and some like scenes and set pieces. This guy
and a plot.
This guy definitely has a green screen for sure.
Yes,
like he has a lot of. He's maybe got some kind of license for some stock footage. There's a lot of that. He doesn't have any idea what timing is because there's like
or editing,
timing, editing, emotion. Acting, but
script writing.
He writes, directs, produces, and stars in these movies. He's on a 7 or 8 or something.
It's getting up there now.
And like, so the little story behind him, and before we kick off on the actual movie, he was an architect.
Yes,
clearly quite a successful one because like even that kind of shitty film isn't cheap.
No,
and just funds his own movies because he likes them. And I kind of respect that a bit, but oh my God. like my 3.5-year-old could probably make a better movie. So, Lewis, do you want to get us going on the actual film?
Well, it starts as it means to go on, Isaac Twisted Pear, because we start with stock footage, I believe, of the Earth. And then it's Neil doing a voiceover, and then it's just like
it's that epic, like swelling orchestral music with the globe slowly turning, and then I was like, "Oh, this is cool." and then it goes to
I'm going to do this throughout your whole intro,
and then it goes to like a purple sky with clouds drifting across, and it carries on, and it's like Neil Breen, Twisted Pear. And then the voiceover starts.
In like Times New Roman text. Or whatever. Everything about this film was the first option. So the first take of every scene was used. The first song that they found. The first stock image that they found. The first...
names they could come up with.
Yeah, there was only one draft of the script.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to call the main character like Cade. And what should I call the other one? Kale.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go with that. That'll be fine.
Change one letter. So it's him and his twin brother that had a happy life with a dog and a beach, and like it's awful stock footage.
Yes. that doesn't run long enough, so he just has to pause it, and there's like another 5-10 seconds of him just doing exposition.
Yeah, exposition, and you can hear like the seaside noises and the waves crashing, but it's just like a still frame of these kids on a beach, and then it's like, suddenly we were chosen, and it goes, it makes that like super fake, almost like toy gun laser noise. It goes pew 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 pew, like to suggest like aliens.
No, Isaac, they're not aliens. They're humanoids.
They're supreme beings. I'm never really sure what they are, because they kind of describe them as robots sometimes, like synthetic humanoids. But
synthetic, reprogrammable DNA.
Yeah. We'll get to all that bit, don't worry. But,
oh my god, so good.
When they're talking about like these supreme beings and they were selected, they were the chosen ones, they have like a kind of faded image of a face on the screen. It's like it's just someone with like a pair of tights over their head, which is like the supreme being, I guess. And then he talks for like 7 or 8 minutes, just giving exposition of how
felt longer,
how superior they are now, all these powers and abilities, and then it kind of just stops on like a pink tree with a bunch of glowing lights. It's very like elven fantasy style, and he just really slowly, him and his video double, his twin, who has his collar unbuttoned in a different direction in each one to like signify the twin. They like really slowly walk towards the screen. But he's like late 50s, early 60s. So he's got
easy.
Yeah, he's got like a kind of a small gait, the kind of walk that someone with Parkinson's has. With like a dodgy shoulder, and like he just kind of hobbles a little bit. And this is a supreme being.
And I like as well how he was just like, you know what, this outfit's good enough for the whole movie.
The whole movie. It's so good.
Just this pair of jeans with my long sleeve, like almost like button neck t-shirt tucked into my trousers. You know what? That's a good look. It's my favourite jeans. So I'm gonna wear them the whole movie.
Yeah.
But Isaac, this is a film for intellectuals because there's so much science talk in it. I love all of the science talk because not only can you reprogram DNA, you can also reprogram cells, which is very different.
Way easier than DNA.
I mean, this film is an hour and a half long. Mm-hmm. You can make this a tight 45 minutes and have the exact same story.
Yeah. I wrote, dude loves his green screen because there's like...
Oh, yeah.
There's a bit with a hawk at the beginning, like a falcon or something. And it's just...
No, did you not see it at the credits? This is right at the end of the film. It's got a credit.
Oh,
it's
the hawk.
Majestic... It's Majestic Eagle, played by Eagle. Honestly, it's amazing. So, number one, not a hawk. Respect where it's due. But number two, they just got a regular eagle to play a majestic eagle.
And it doesn't even have a name. It will definitely have a name. And then, but he's like superimposed himself into this slow-mo. There's so much slow-mo in this movie. That's where your 45 minutes could be made up if they just ran at a normal 1 times pace. Slow-mo hawk landing on a gnarled wooden post, and he superimposes himself like he's kind of... I think he's talking about how he's in tune with nature as a superior being. And he's like... I think he's supposed to be like caressing or stroking it, but he's just stroking the wooden post. It's like too low. He just hasn't even put it together right.
It's amazing. But he obviously loves the idea of sci-fi, but knows nothing about it. So I think he was just one day just like making notes about things that sound sci-fi. Because he says things like synthetic brain power, reprogrammable DNA, the corrupt kind, all this sort of stuff. And he was just like, he made like a word cloud, and instead of actually thinking of dialogue, he just inserted that into bits of the script.
How many times he gets really close to the mic and just goes, AI.
He has no idea what AI is.
No, not at all.
He has no idea. It's amazing.
There's loads of stock footage, at least 3 or 4 times, of like scientists, quote unquote, like working on a screen, and he's just superimposed, standing behind them wearing a paper mask, like he's part of their like crew. And he's just like, yeah.
And holding his hand up as if he was like touching the screen. But the screen ends and his hand's just basically just holding his hand up in
the wrong
space.
place. He can't even put his green screen in the right place. Amazing. So the plot so far...
But we should jump into... Yes, I was about to say, what is it, Isaac?
Well, him and his brother got chosen, selected, given all these powers. They never explain this, but they're like... to fight for the forces of good against the forces of evil. Generic evil. Mm-hmm. There's no name or nothing behind that. But I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, he's Cade and his brother's Kale. Yeah, like the superfood. And Kale starts like failing his assignments, is all he says, I think.
Yeah.
And so has his powers taken away. And they show 3 candles on the screen superimposed onto that pink tree. 3 candles. There's 2 brothers. 3 candles, and then one of them fades away. And it's like, why are there 3? If this was like trying to represent one of them having their powers taken away, what's the 3rd?
Because he couldn't be bothered to light his own candle, so he just got the footage of it.
Yeah. So his powers taken away, and they're separated. I think they're like he never sees them again until now, or whatever.
Yeah, it's like he fails, and so like, you know, Cade must continue his mission, and Kale like fades into obscurity. Even though they got the same upbringing and all this, and they were twins. Like, Kale failed, but Cade's great.
And and then we kind of jump into him being heroic, right? Which is kind of which is where the fun really starts.
The first big action scene.
So it's him. I'm going to say the word superimposed a lot. It's him superimposed on like a building scene, but the building's like really blurry. I don't know why he didn't use like...
They never got the like sizing of anything right.
Yeah. So it's like he's way too big. But there's another person walking along in this footage, and his really badly dubbed voiceover goes, "Good morning, have a nice day," to this.
But that's the thing, because a lot of the time when he's doing this, this dubbing, his character, you can see that his mouth is not opening. So I don't know whether it's actually, in that instance, it must be him talking to that person. But a lot of the time, like briefly after this, after Superman jumps into the building, which looks amazing.
Yeah.
And then he's got footage, like stock footage of army guys running through, and he's like, wait. Yeah, come on, Neil. And he's just like, I'll protect you. Wait, I'll go first. And they're just like paused.
And he walks really slowly towards it's just paused footage, and he's like, I'll go first. And he's like quite far away in the shot. And he just hobbles really slowly. It's like, dude, they've got a job to do. Come on. He's just like hobbling towards the screen really slowly. Amazing.
But I love how after that, like the building starts like exploding. So he jumps out, and then in like a few moments later, he's like jumping into or going into another building, and then army guys walking through again, and then they pause, literally abruptly pause.
Yeah.
And he goes, wait. I'll go first, and then does that again, and then leaves that building. But I just found it brilliant that he say, I'll protect you, I'll lead you, but you see him just leave the buildings without them, and they like explode. He's like, wait, I'll protect you.
The explosion is just the stock, all the items on the screen is the stock footage of this building. There's him, and then there's just this like, if you imagine there's like your whole monitor screen, your TV screen, and right in the bottom corner, taking like a fifth of it, is just like a really bad GIF of an explosion going over and over.
With one explosion sound.
Yeah, it's like... But like, the building isn't it's just a little like superimposed explosion in the corner. Amazing. So yeah, he's just going around, quote unquote, saving soldiers and exploding buildings. So that's good. And I just said...
And then he goes back to his M. Doesn't he, Isaac?
Yeah, his M.
You know, like in James Bond, his M.
She's terrible.
And, no, let's just, I mean, terrible's relative in this film. But she's just like, well done on your mission or whatever, and then immediately just says, want to take some time off? And he goes, nah. She's just like, oh yeah, I forgot. You're different. You're special. So, ready for your next mission then? And he goes, sure. It's just like
the amount of times. So along with AI, he also goes, I am the weapon a lot.
I don't need a weapon. I am the weapon.
At least 3 times. Which is brilliant. So the endless stock footage is clearly just all in his garage. And then we go to... So I don't quite have a pin in exactly who these people are, but there's a boardroom meeting.
Yes.
Who are those people? Yes. Do you know who they are before I carry on? No?
They're obviously high-ranking government officials.
It's government.
He's like, one of them is just like, the CIA is ready, and he puts 3 gas masks on the table.
Yeah, so it's a boardroom of people. They're all sitting on one side of the table so they can get the camera shot. So that's just shit already. And then they like... shout really awkwardly, like they'd forgotten their lines and got someone like jab them in the leg.
It's his mind map. There's
the guys like
phrases.
The CIA is ready, is one of the lines. So they're all kind of shouting at one level. Then there's one woman shouts really loudly, "This is serious!" It's like, is it, honey?
Yeah, it is. But that's the point, though, Isaac. You're not buying into this. You got to lean into Neil Breen's film.
I laughed a lot throughout this movie, like out loud.
It was very amazing, funny. Honestly.
Programmable
matter.
AI. So there's this next bit. I think we probably might spend some time on. So he's walking along the street.
Oh God! Yes, I love how literally we're going through this. Each one of my notes we've honed onto them is the exact same thing. It's pretty much just every single thing that happens in every single scene. But carry on.
Way too many notes. I texted you earlier, like, try and cull your notes down a bit so we can like get it in sync. Because I was doing that, and I think I got rid of.
Welcome to the first 3-hour special of nothing but stuff.
So he's walking along a bridge, not a street. It's like at the top of the bridge. There's a homeless guy there who's already. I think he was in the board meeting, but not with a beard on. So it's like just they're recycling their extras,
wearing perfectly clean clothes.
Yeah. We're gonna have to unpack this. I'm gonna go through it, and then we'll go back and unpack it. Okay?
Yeah. Explain what happened, sort of step by step,
I'll
and
say
then
what
we're gonna analyze
on screen, and then we'll talk about our opinions. So
should we act each character?
No, I can't. I think I can pull it off. He bumps into this chick, overly make-upped, 2 high heels. Bumps into this chick on the bridge. She drops some papers, so he helps her pick them up. And then he's like I think what he's trying to get across is he was trying to like make it up, like instead of just saying sorry and she's saying thank you and moving on, he basically just says like, let's go on a date, I'll take you out to dinner, I'll meet you back here at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock! He starts like shouting, 8 o'clock, I'll meet you. And she's like, no, thank you, no. And she's like leaving. He's like, 8 o'clock, I'm gonna be here. And then he comes back. Okay, let me carry on. He comes back to the bridge at 8 o'clock. Guess what? She's not fucking there, you fucking psycho. So she's like bummed about that. The hobo, there's a little kind of thing to him later, but I'm not bothered about it right now. The hobo on the bridge is there, and he's like, oh, she didn't turn up. And then somehow he just like sees her leaving work later, and he says like, no way. I'm gonna follow her.
All right, we need to stop there and analyze that chunk.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I've already said that he's wearing perfectly clean clothes. He just assaults that woman basically. Yeah. Like she not accidentally touches into her. He's just like, no, I'm sorry. Let me take you out to dinner. She's like, no, leave me alone. Like I didn't think you quite got over how distressed she sounds in this situation.
I just want to reinforce. They clearly don't know each other. They don't know each other. These are strangers bumping on the street. Let's not like repeat what I've just gone over. But what's your?
Did you notice the homeless man's toy mice?
No.
So next to the homeless guy, you've got 2 rats sitting there next to him. Like, I don't know whether they're meant to be like waiting to eat food or his friends or something, but they're clearly just toy rats, and they don't move. He's paid so much for so much CGI. Like, it's clearly where most of the budget on this film has gone, is stock footage and CGI and stuff. Mm-hmm. But he didn't want to just buy some rats to put in. I'm amazed that he's just got little stuffed toy rats. But then, Isaac, we move on to the following bit from there.
Yeah, so he's followed her home.
Neil follows her home, as you do. Breaks into the home.
And, okay, so when I said, I'm gonna follow her, my wife was in the room playing Stardew Valley, and she just looks up at me so wide-eyed, like, what the fuck? And then I can't even describe her face as this next scene unfolded. This late 50s, early 60s man just goes on to a full-on kind of like rape scene. Like, he's like wrestling. Okay.
No.
That's what it feels like at the start. Because he comes in, like he's broken in.
He assaults her physically.
He assaults her. They're literally like wrestling on the sofa. And
really bad fighting. Really bad. But yes.
Yeah, clearly like not wanting to hurt each other.
Just happens to have a painting to hand, which she smashes over his head as well on the sofa.
He just keeps going, bitch. Bitch. Like over and over, like really weirdly. Like so disjointed.
Yeah, weird.
And then...
But Isaac, what's the twist?
Yeah. Okay, well, I don't quite know, Lewis. So, calling her a bitch all the time, they kind of stop the fighting and start cuddling. And he says something like... Okay, I didn't write down exactly what he said, but it's kind of implied that they both... Like, did you talk to Mummy? Like, have you heard from Mummy?
She goes, I spoke to Mom today, and he's just like, how is she? And you're just like, oh. So my note here is... So these two are having a weird roleplay thing, like they get off on this, but the way they look in that scene, I was like, are they siblings or are they together?
Yeah. Okay, so I didn't think about the role-playing side of things, like all the way back to bumping on the bridge. This is their like roleplay. Okay,
I think that because it becomes more apparent later on. I'm sure that they are in a relationship.
Yeah. No, they are. But that's what I mean. I wrote like play by play as the scene was going on. I go horrifying. Oh my god, it's his sister, and then. Is it? And then they're cuddling. So it's like they're not. I think they're boyfriend and girlfriend, but they're like weird. They're like acting like brother and sister. And it's
putting
so
in the
weird.
word "my mum" would have helped a lot, rather than I spoke to Mum today. And
but I think he calls her Mum too, and I think it's him like a mother-in-law. Like what his mum say? Yeah. But it's just the way.
My take. I mean, I have no fucking idea. Watch for yourself, comment, let us know. But my take from it is just that they get off on that.
Yeah, I mean, each their own. Not gonna kink shame.
No, I mean, sounds like fun. But the way that they do it is really fucking weird.
And not between those
so
two.
Weird.
I feel so sorry for that girl. Yeah, I wrote he's
I hope she was paid a lot.
Yeah, and then we kind of cut away to this is where we start looking at Kale, and this is where the homeless guy comes in because Cade has passed the homeless man looking like Cade, and then a mysterious figure which you can't see the head of on the shot walks past the homeless man, and the homeless man sees some kind of recognition, but he doesn't. That this guy doesn't give him change, where Cade does give him change, and they're trying to imply that Kale is around, obviously, because we know the twin exists, and it goes to like some businessmen coming out of a building who are literally saying the words to each other like, yeah, there's a lot going on. God, there's a lot going on. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Like they're trying to think of something to say that looked like they had a lot going on.
And is that what you think they were trying to get over in their performance?
And they get kidnapped by this mysterious figure that you haven't seen yet. I wonder who it is. And then the screen's black for a bit, and you just hear this, like, three men. Imagine three men doing this. oh. And I was like, wait, what? Is this a gay gangbang? Because that's what it sounds like.
I have a note here saying they sound like they're fucking, not in pain.
Yeah. And then it slowly fades in with them all like tied up and like really bad fake blood like kind of sprayed all over the place. So they're supposed to be like hostages or prisoners. And the guy, this mysterious figure, who has the same voice as Neil Breen, surprisingly,
What?
it says something like, "What are your crimes? Confess." So they reel off every single crime.
No, Isaac, no. You're not giving this film enough credit. Number one, I have to point out, first of all, to the props department, the guy who put together the mustache with the double-sided sticky tape where you can literally see light reflecting off of his upper lip. Yep. Amazing. But they don't do that. He says, "Tell me your crimes," and they go, "No." And one of them just goes, "I'm a lawyer. I'm going to put you in prison." And Kale shouts back, "I don't give a shit." It's my favourite line of the whole film. It's just the way it's delivered. "I'm going to put you in prison. I don't give a shit."
But then they confess.
Because he shoots one of them in the shoulder.
Well, he quote unquote shoots them. It's like he holds the gun, not even pointed at them, and you see this little cartoon fire come out, and he jolts his arm awkwardly.
But these guys are up to so much. He found the real bad guys.
They are bad.
We're paying off politicians. We're smuggling drugs. We're selling human trafficking, illegal weapons.
Arson is in there. Insurance fraud.
Insurance fraud, of course.
Embezzlement.
They literally just list off. And we probably only got half.
Yeah, a quarter. Like they just list off all of these fucking crimes. It's amazing. It's like, okay, they can stay there. Like they're bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they really didn't take a lot for them to fold. But Isaac, we must also talk about one of the main settings of this movie, because what did you think of the college which they clearly paid to use in the night time?
I wrote high school, but yeah. Are you jumping ahead to which bit are you jumping ahead to? I got loads of bits, man. I got so many bits.
Whoa, I mean, there's so much stuff. My next bit is around the crime scene that the police find, where one of the finest detectives in America walks up to the two bodies that are there, which Kale has killed, and he goes, "Ugh, well, another clean crime scene." Turns around, starts to walk, and goes, "Hey, wait a minute."
You missed a bit. Hey, wait a minute. We'll flashback.
Okay.
But in the movie, before this scene with the cop, we see these like slumped corpses on the steps, which Neil Breen, I don't think it's been revealed that it's Neil Breen yet, has emptied his gun into these guys on the floor. Who the fuck are they? Who knows? And then there's
corrupt politicians or businessmen.
He shoots like 3 or 4 times, but he picks up 2 bullet casings from the floor. As if like he's trying to clean up the crime scene. So he picks up these 2 bullet casings. And then this enormous needle drops onto the step. It's so big. It's clearly got fake blood on the end. Why do you have? You find out later he's a drug addict with his girlfriend.
Of course he is.
But it's just like this ka-dunk needle dropping onto the steps. And that's why we have the cop being like, is it a clean crime scene? Oh, you found the needle, did you? Well done.
Yeah. And then we see another one. No, so originally when I saw, do you know the guy with like another fake moustache, who I'm pretty sure
I said the guy with the wettest moustache shuffling backwards, because he makes a call to the cop and just like walks backwards in the room. It's really strange.
Yeah, but he's, I'm sure, another cop.
I don't know who that guy was. I got to the end of the movie and I was like, well, who the fuck was that guy?
Yeah, but he's just wearing like a hat. And I'm sure it's one of the guys who was just tied up. I'm sure it's the bald guy in the last scene.
Oh yeah, it'll be a recycled extra.
With a fake moustache.
For sure.
And then I've literally wrote this here. There's a classic joke from Neil Breen. So he takes his partner out to dinner at the fucking outdoor cafeteria, where, let's not spoil this, but let's leave something to the viewers here, Isaac, because he takes his girlfriend, Cade, the good one, takes his girlfriend for a date at the restaurant. and he just makes a really funny joke, Isaac, about he's just like, there's no one here at the restaurant, but they do such amazing food and the service is incredible, and I'll leave the punchline for you guys to go and watch yourself. It is, woo! It's incredible.
It's very funny. I wrote, you know what Neil Breen has in common with Steven Seagal? Renting out whole restaurants. And he's like, I got you a present. And it's like,
okay, good. You're not spoiling my joke.
Like
that's good.
It's a candle, and he puts like a $2 candle on the table, and she's like, eternal and always is what she says.
Yeah. After he really struggles to light the candle as well.
Yeah. I got you a present.
And she's like, you did? That's so sweet. And he's just like already on the table, unwrapped, and he's just like, it's this candle. So did he like leave it there?
Eternal and always. Amazing.
But then we get the first confrontation between Cade and Kale.
Yes.
Now, do. Isaac, my main point about this, I'm sure you have your own points.
So many. We're barely. I've got so many notes, and we're an hour on our recording. I don't know what to do. Carry on.
I mean, let's just crack on.
Yeah, let's just just do it as much as we can. Yeah, whatever.
So he's having a confrontation here with his counterpart Cade, and it's changing. So like, there's the two of them looking at each other, and then there's one of them, and then there's the other one. But they never change the perspective of the background. No. It's just like a solid brick wall, and then they just. So it's so. I mean, God, obviously at this.
But they're not looking at each other. Because obviously it's the same guy, but it's like they're not looking. They're looking at the wrong perspectives.
And they're both looking at like a point in front of the camera, so they're both looking like across the camera diagonally.
And how is Kale differentiated from Cade, Lewis? How do we know which one's which?
Oh, I mean, it's hard. It's subtle. It's very subtle.
It's like a broom on his face.
It's the biggest it's the biggest brownish, straightest beard I've ever seen. And he also wears a hoodie with his hood up most of the time. Yeah. Because you know what, people that wear hoodies.
Wrong'uns. But then it's the timing of like, 'cause they're talking to each other, but obviously again it's Neil Breen twice. That's all it is. But the pauses between in their conversation, like one of them says something and the other one replies, you could have edited those together. Like it's almost like he's run around the camera and gone to the other side and then answered himself, because it takes so long to have that conversation.
Isaac, clearly you haven't ever been to drama school. That's called a dramatic pause.
And then we finally meet an antagonist of the story.
Oh yeah. At the time I called him Red Sunny's guy, who has just the best, most sinister voice you've ever heard.
Oh, you mean Mr. Coos?
I for ages thought it was Cooge.
No, it's Mr. Coos, and he thought like I can't even replicate his voice. It's like a deep kind of robot voice like that.
Well, they put the classic like deep voice thing that you get on like children's microphones. It's like yeah. Hello there, I'm evil.
Okay,
with his goblet of giant diamonds.
Yeah. There's a few things we've got to cover here. While we're on the voice, is he an alien? Like, is he?
No.
Why is his voice like that then?
Because he's like the most evil guy, dude.
He's so evil, it's like scarred his vocal cords. Okay.
Yes.
But
evil is coarse.
But he controls, Lewis, Mr. Coos, he controls all of our life support systems. What? What life support? I don't need life support out here. Like, I've got air, it's fine.
He supplies energy to all hospitals.
And it just shows some pipes. Like it shows some factory pipes. That's him controlling the all life support systems. And as you say, he is perpetually fondling a goblet full of diamonds. I mean, like massive fake diamonds. Obviously, it's Neil Breen, but yeah, it's very strange. Like, constantly stroking diamonds, but.
Flat cap.
He brought his diamonds out to sit on his cheap pool chair whilst he watches his fairy tramp teleport around. What
the fuck was that about?
There's a girl, quite an attractive one, dressed up as a slutty Tinkerbell, essentially.
I guaranteed you she was the highest paid actress in this, or actor in this film.
I'll give her that. But weirdly, she's got like superimposed like kind of twinkly stars coming out of her back, and she teleports from one side of the pool to the other, like fades out and fades in. So fucking weird. And
Tinkerbell, yeah.
And Mr. I Am the Weapon. He voiceovers saying that he's got this clever plan. He's got a clever plan to infiltrate as an art dealer. And Mr. Coos says, "So you like my special art and my special projects?" And then there's a really long pause. Really long. And then Neil Breen goes, "Yes, I'm interested." And then, and then it shows this weird... He puts like a photo frame on a table. Like they've gone inside. They've gone inside. Mr. Coos shows a photo frame on a table, and it like zooms in really close. And then there's another green screen in there, and there's like a weird woman with her face painted, and she smiles at the camera. It's like a video in this photo. I guess that's quite special art and special projects.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what evil people do in their free time.
But then they go back outside after seeing the special art, and the first line after seeing the special art is, "I want to hear more details about your global takeover plans." He's infiltrated as an art dealer. He's like, "We're friends now. What about your global takeover plans?"
But Isaac, at the core of this story, it's about love.
It's about
this
love.
Story at the core of this story, it really is about love. In a world where, strangely, there are two moons.
Yep. That was my next one.
One in front of the other.
Why are there two moons?
Is he trying to say that this isn't Earth?
One of them's like more see-through than the other, because you can see the other one.
Yes.
The bigger one's in front of the smaller one, and you can see the smaller one. It's like, what? Why is there a see-through double moon? Yeah,
he's just talking about how much I think his line at the time is, "You are so incredibly amazing. You are so incredibly amazing." Like, he says everything like twice.
He repeats it, doesn't it? A lot.
Yeah.
I've got a note later about that.
Repetition is key.
8 o'clock on the bridge. 8 o'clock. And then he just walks into the center of the operation, which is, as you say, well, you said college, I said high school lab, in a biological global warfare plan that he is incubating in a high school lab.
And they're just writing like lists of like beaker ×3 and things like that on the outside of one of the cabinets.
Yeah,
Isaac, you spend a lot of time in labs. Do you do that?
Funnily enough, I saw that list and I was like, when would that be feasible? Like, it's not a formula or an equation. It's the weirdest place to put your like order list. It's like
it's apparatus. It's not.
If you're the research assistant and the research scientist is on the other side of the wall and really wants something and they just like write it on the wall, you'd be like, "Fuck you, buddy."
Like this is a scientific laboratory. They don't have a piece of paper.
It's just really strange.
But then we're back to Kale, just fucking railing lines.
Yeah,
just huge lines with his partner, who they have. I mean, he raises his voice at her. She fucking screams at him. She's just like, "I don't like you anymore. I just want the money and the drugs."
Yeah.
And then they're just there, just like but like in one scene they're like screaming at each other, and the next one he's just like, "2 pills for you, 2 pills for me, and 1 more pill for you."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, like, you're generous. So sweet."
And
it's just like, what the
They're
fuck?
drinking from a separate bottle of wine each. They both got a bottle of wine which is corked, and they make a big deal about uncorking it and pouring themselves a glass of wine one after another. So that's a good like...
Yeah, and there's 3 in the background, all with corks in.
Yeah, it's really weird. And then when they eventually break up, this couple, like, does like the record skip? Like, he like kind of fades in like it's judded and he hasn't edited it out. It's really strange. And there's the saving grace of the film, Lewis. There's a saving grace. Don't worry. It's something that we can all appreciate here on the podcast.
Is it something we can relate to, Isaac?
It's something we can relate to. It's something, we see...
Is it those giant lines of cocaine?
Oh, no, Lewis. It's a nice butt. There's a nice butt. That's all it is. There's a woman walking away.
Is it Neil's?
It's not Neil's, no, thankfully. I can't even remember where it was. I just wrote saving grace of the film, a nice butt.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why they put that in there. Just a naked woman walking away.
Next time you bring up the bra comments I made about that Steven Seagal film,
Fair.
I'm going to be like...
It was more the eyebrows comment that really pissed.
It was much more in your face, I'll be honest. This is when I start to break down, because my next note is, does he know how shit this is? Does he think this is good? Is he genuinely mad? Just as a quote, just asking Neil Breen this to the world.
Yeah.
And then my next note here is, he keeps saying that he can stop this. What the fuck is this?
Yeah. It's the forces of evil. What are they? And okay. So he meets Mr. Coos in the high school somehow. Mm-hmm. There's robots everywhere. They're just people sitting really still. I don't quite know what they were.
I think they were programmable DNA. Isaac, I've solved it.
AI.
Yeah.
And he talks to Mr. Coos in the high school. It's like a meeting on just like an AA meeting with a bunch of chairs. And it's a different actor who's Mr. Coos. Because I was like, he looks weird. And then we see him again. I was like, no, it definitely was a different guy. So why didn't he
he's about 40 years older.
And overweight. Like a completely different body shape. It was really weird.
And they use a different voice.
Yeah, it's so strange. And then all of the goons disappear in the room. They just fade out. They just fade away. And Neil's left behind. Neil's been paused as they fade away because he can't do the graphics for both at the same time. And then he's like, "Oh my god, they're gone!" And it's like, what is going? Yeah,
Isaac, you're forgetting the programmable cells.
The programmable cells. It was different.
The programmable cell. And then we're back to our favourite guys who are really into their BDSM. So yeah, they're back and coming hard. Is my note here. Then we've already they're just back, and then he shoots each one of them in the shoulder. And then they all pass out, and then it slowly fades in loads more guys, but it's just the same three fucking guys.
Yeah, repeated,
really opaque,
all on the same screen. It's dude, we can see they're the same guys.
And then you have Cade breaking up with his partner, I believe, and he just goes, "We're done. We're done. We're done. We're done." He says it 4 times.
And this is Kale. You're getting the names confused.
I'm sorry, yes, Kale. I'm sorry, the evil
Kale's
one.
the evil one. But in the meantime, Cade says, "I must stop the Coos Empire before they start their plan." Yeah, obviously. Before they start their plan would be great, Neil. Taking out these pipelines is critical. Is it?
Critical.
How?
Yes. Because that's how he he controls our life support, so wouldn't destroying those pipes destroy our life support?
And then he's got all these superior powers. How does he use them? He puts a bomb down and then stumbles away while it literally explodes around him. And his sneaking crouch while he's being a ninja throughout this facility and planting bombs is so not sneaky. It's just this 60-year-old dude hobbling around. And everything is exploding at the same time.
Well, yeah, I mean, at one point, he, there's the 4 robot body guys sitting there, and he thinks, oh no, they're going to see me. So he, prods one in the leg, and then really slowly backward walks in front of all 4, before then turning and running off.
Yeah.
But then, Isaac, we have the old... There's so much confusion, because we see Kale's, now ex... Mm-hmm. Walking down the street, not looking like she's addicted to drugs. She's had a real glow up since Kale's left her life.
Yeah.
And she's just like, Kale, how, oh, no, she didn't say Kale. She's she sees Cade walking by. And she's just like, oh my god, it's you. What are you doing? And he just grabs her and starts shaking her.
I don't have a beard. I've never had a beard. That's what he says. That's what he says.
She's like, what happened to your beard? I've never had a beard. I've never had a beard.
Over and over and over. And I think it was a different actress, Lewis.
It could be.
Because I was like, plot-wise, it should be the girl, because she's talking about how, like, the abuse and stuff that we've seen. But I was like, I don't think it's the same person. Like,
it might not be.
No. But yeah, I've never had a beard! Over and over. That's when I said a lot of his lines is just shouting the same thing over and over. Again, he goes,
I've never had a beard!
You betrayed us! You betrayed us! Over
You betrayed me!
And then it goes into this thing that his girlfriend's sister is one of, quote unquote, them. People are starting, like, passing packages around. Like, and he's, like, standing right behind them as he watches them do it. Like, he's next to them, and they don't know he's there. And then he says, I couldn't help but feel guilty about it. What? About what? Like, I have no idea.
I don't know. Well, and, like, what is she giving the forces of evil, quote unquote?
Yeah.
Like, she hands, like, a package.
Yeah, what are they passing around?
What is it?
I have no idea. It's like, it looks like a piece of paper with some elastic bands around it. That's all it is.
Is it, like, information?
Coke? Like, I think, is it the same package that Kale gets at some point? And he unwraps it and it's Coke? Like, I don't understand.
Honestly, like, and then it kind of has an ending, this film. You could call it that.
Okay, going ahead a bit, yeah, sure.
I mean, the next whole bit of the film just blurs into just, like, random scenes of nonsense.
I'll cover it. He goes back to the high school lab, and he's like, it's about time I took care of this. This is the end for you, Coos, and your evil empire, and blows it up. And it's like, why didn't you do that the first time you were here? Like, you knew this is the place. And he just starts setting off explosions. And then the random fairy slut is, like, watching him on a big TV. And these, like, random little cat statues are on Mr. Coos's desk. And they're like...
They're
like robots or something. They turn and look sad. And it's like, what the fuck?
Isaac, it's reflecting the 3 candles at the start of the movie.
Okay. But they kind of look like the see no, hear no, speak no evil monkeys, but they're cats, but they move like robots. I have no fucking clue.
No fucking idea.
And then he meets up with his girlfriend again, his girlfriend's sister, and she says, it's only business, I'm sorry, I had to do it. I don't even know what she did.
She's pointing a gun at... She betrayed him, Isaac.
Yeah, but how?
Betrayed him.
Passing a package.
By not telling him that she was working for the forces of evil.
Yeah.
But I think it's meant to be, like, against her will, but you never see any, like, threat, and he's a superhero that can do anything.
Yeah.
So why would she be in any danger? Just tell him.
And she gets a name in the last 5 minutes of the story. Alana.
Bitch.
Bitch gets a name. He does say bitch a lot. Bitch. Like, so disjointed. But no, it's Alana. He's like, Alana, I forgive you. Like, why are you giving her a name now? I don't understand. And yeah, I guess they're trying to make us feel guilty about the corporate businessmen, that's what they call them, corporate businessmen.
What would be non-corporate business?
Yeah, right. And like they keep showing them that they're still there, hanging up, and they die. I think he voices over saying something like, "Let them rot." We're just like looking at them, and I think they're dead.
But these are the people that his misguided, like, / evil brother has kidnapped and is torturing. But then the good guy is just like, yeah, fuck them as well.
I don't think he knows about them. He
doesn't stop them.
I don't think he knows about them.
But he's doing the voiceover for them at that point.
No, but isn't that Kale? Kale wants them to rot.
Why would Kale all of a sudden at that point in the film? I mean, it could be. It makes no sense, but nothing in this film does.
Everything else VO'd has been Cade. But that bit, I think, was supposed to be Kale. If only he was wearing a beard.
Only the voiceover was wearing a beard.
That's what I know. And then,
oh my god,
we see a bloody hand cradling some diamonds. Like, so it's But it's like the goblet of diamonds is there, and the bloody hand like starts like caressing them again. So it suggests
just limply.
Yeah, it suggests it's Mr. Coos. So I wrote why, how, why. He blew up.
But Isaac, you're forgetting this film has a sequel coming out this year.
He blew up a high school and ruined Mr. Coos' global domination plan, and somehow killed Mr. Coos at the same time. He's not in the high school. Like, I don't know how the explosion affected Mr. Coos in any way, unless it's a metaphorical death. Like, I've ruined your business. Like, I don't understand.
I wish I had answers for you.
Okay, so we've got the last scene. I will just... Yeah, I'll tell you what I wrote for the last bit in a minute.
We have him in that, like, purple forest.
The pink tree, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know whether is that place meant to be... I had, like, a few ideas. Is it death? Is it purgatory? Is it space? Or is it another dimension?
It's suggested that that's where the superior beings are that imbue them with the powers. So it's kind of heaven and space, and
space
dimension.
Heaven.
Space heaven dimension. Which somehow Alana is there.
Briefly.
Because she dies at some point, by the way. Avid listeners.
Yeah, he shoots her.
If you're still hanging around, we've been doing this for like an hour.
It's nearly as long as the film, honestly.
Again,
This is on YouTube, by the way. You have to go watch it.
See it. Oh my god, I was cackling. Like it's bad enough to be good.
It's so bad it is good.
So so Alana is in this quote unquote heaven with him. They walk forward a few paces and then horribly, like, creakily turn around so they're in profile facing each other, and then shuffle backwards a few steps so their hands let go of each other, and it's this like big symbolic let me go thing, and she fades away, and it's like, how is
it meant to be a metaphor?
I think so. Well, I was like, it's heaven.
Who the fuck knows?
It's heaven, I guess. Knows? She's there because she's dead. Well, how else does she get there? And she fades away and lets go, but it's the way that they let go of each other's hands. Anyway, I said, then he struts off painfully slowly into the pink tree where he came from. The last 3 words of my notes, good fucking riddance.
But then doesn't he come back out and do a monologue to screen?
I don't remember. I think I must have given up.
I think you turned it off a touch early, Isaac,
no,
because he then comes...
That's why I didn't see the eagle credit.
Yeah, and then
eagle.
Obviously... Yeah, then the whole credits roll, and then after the credits, we just get Cade and Kale back on screen, just like standing there, and then like Cade's like smiling, and Kale's just got his like deadpan face on. But they obviously just left it on for too long because the smile stops, and then he just sort of goes deadpan as well, and it just looks like. I mean, I can't use that phrase because we will get cancelled. It looks like a couple of idiots just standing there, just like the watching static on a TV screen. Like
that's what's going on in that guy's brain. All right, so floppy or sloppy?
Twisted Pear, Isaac.
Oh, I beat you to it. I'm sorry. I jumped the gun again. I jumped the sloppy gun.
Yeah. I mean...
Go on, Lewis. You ask me. I don't get it asked enough.
Yeah, Twisted Pear, Isaac. Sloppy or floppy?
It's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
What did we give? We gave that first Steven Seagal movie a sloppy.
But the next one a floppy, I believe.
Big floppy. So it's a really fine, super subjective line.
It makes that first Steven Seagal film look like an Oscar-worthy performance by everyone involved.
I think it's floppy. It's really fun, and I cackled. It's fun in a absolutely horrendous way. Like, it is really bad. It's hilarious. Having said that, the slight caveat is the dude just went out and made his own movie. Like, good for him. Like,
I do respect it.
I respect that. He wanted to do something and he fucking did it. And people are talking about it. And that's like, well done. Other than that, no, stop it. But he tried.
You see, in the right context, for me, this is sloppy. But you can't be like really hammered or anything like that. This is a sloppy film if you're watching it with a group of mates who sit down and want to watch this film.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife could barely stand to be in the room while this was going. I was pissing myself on the sofa because it was so bad. But she was just like, just didn't understand how terribly funny it was.
Yeah, it's not a casual view. You have to be sitting there like, I want to watch something so amazingly bad that it will entertain me. But as I said, like, it's a 45-minute film dragged out. But you have to be paying attention to realise. I mean, it's obviously from a simple glance an absolute piece of shit, this film. But the more you pay attention, the more you realise how bad it is, and that for me brings it back full circle to being quite entertaining. However, I've watched it twice now, and I'm never watching it again.
It brings it back to being quite what, Lewis? What was it? Which one? There's two options, and you have to pick one.
That's a sloppy.
Are you giving it a sloppy?
No, I am. I said in the right context, it's sloppy,
okay,
and I'm going to stand by that.
Okay.
I do think, like, it's obviously. Don't get me wrong, it's awful.
No.
It's so fucking bad, but it does come full circle for me.
I read the wiki on Neil Breen. Apparently, all of his movies, and you probably know a lot more than I do, all of his movies, he is like a superhero, supreme being in every single one, and it's always like technology, random technology words that are threatening the world. It's like the same plot in every movie, yeah. Okay.
If you could call it a plot.
Yeah.
But the good thing is, like, apparently he actually does pay his actors properly. You know, like, he does all of the things, like, there are craft services and, like, all of this sort of generic film.
He made a movie.
Like, he pays like his people to do their jobs. Like, everyone leaves the set. Yeah, is it a good film? Of course, fucking not. But everyone gets paid. They're all just working actors trying to get gigs. Obviously, none of them are going to be successful at that. But they're in a movie, and he sells when they come out. They're on for sale for like $30. Like he sells them.
I mean,
like, he sells this shit.
And how many views does it have? Like, it must be millions. Are we in is it in the billions yet?
God knows, but you absolutely know as well, this is not the last Neil Breen film I'm going to be suggesting.
Oh, no, Lewis. You keep repeating. Okay, can I request that it is, like, there's a gap? Because Steven Seagal...
I'll sandwich some Seagal in there.
Seagal, was it one after another? I think it was.
I did... so I did two of mine in a row with Seagal.
Okay, so 82,000 views. That's on the one that I watched, the YouTube one that I watched. But some of these... Okay, a review of it has 976,000 views.
Yeah.
So...
I think the review...
people talk about it more than the actual movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People... It's more fun to watch a breakdown of it and just be... like, and not have to actually subject yourself to it. It's like playing a game of being in a car crash.
And this guy with nearly a million views did it in 20 minutes. So I guess he's beating us, Lewis. All right, that was pretty intense. The problem with these terrible movies is every scene needs talking about, so it ends up being way too long. And I don't know, Lewis.
We're nearly at time. Isaac.
I think Neil Breen has overshadowed RPG stuff, sadly. Audience, please contain yourselves. What we're going to do is next episode, we will for sure, I'm guaranteeing, this is a butt stuff guarantee, that RPG stuff will feature. And Lewis, I'm going to propose we do a double length.
I was just about to say, shall we do a double feature so each one of our butts gets to shine?
Yeah, let's do a double RPG. We'll just take turns. Do one after another. Yeah. All right.
No, at the same time, though. Interlocked.
Okay.
Isaac, this is what's happening with your character. What's happening in my character in a completely different universe?
That'd be almost impressive, I'll be honest. We'll do a double feature on the RPG, and we'll always do a movie. That's a butt stuff guarantee again. It's always going to be a movie stuff.
I'm not watching this shit to not talk about it.
Yeah. We're always doing a movie stuff. The problem is, Lewis, you choose a shit film, and make me watch it. I've done it to you unintentionally, I'm going to say. And you do this maliciously to me. So
I don't do it maliciously. It's so fucking... That first Steven Seagal film, you will watch again. It was that good.
Maybe.
With a group of friends when you're drunk.
So I have a movie.
This weekend.
Oh, I see. We're going to hang out in person, audience. Oh, maybe we'll do a live feed. No, we won't. We fucking won't. We absolutely will not. No one is allowed in that house. So, what I was getting at is you attack me with your movies, and I just find it instinctual. It's innate behaviour to just lash out and just attack you back. With my... So this was suggested to me by a friend with the specific intention of being introduced on the show. So, Jess, if you're listening, you don't fucking own me. I made this decision all by myself. This movie is...
Pick a different movie. Just pick a different movie.
No. Because like, the trailer she sent me, thank you, Jess, is... I had to. I can't have watched that trailer and be like, nah. It was either going to go on the list or be the next one, and it's going to be the next one. So this is... I'm going to get the little blurb up on the screen because I've got to read that out as well. It's called Mac and Me, as in macaroni cheese. Mac and Me, from 1988. It's a sci-fi family movie, Lewis. Runtime 1 hour 39 minutes.
Pretty brisk.
Yeah. Hopefully it's going to drag out. Okay, so let me get up a little description for you, Lewis.
Ein blurb.
An alien trying to escape from NASA is befriended by a wheelchair-bound boy. So, this Lewis, is, I think, an answer to E.T. That someone's tried to make an E.T. movie, and it looks fucking amazing. So
the question that no one ever asked about E.T. has finally been answered. What if there was 4 wheels rather than 2 on the bicycle?
It just looks amazing. So Mac and Me, 1988. The trailer's playing on mute on IMDb at the moment, and I'm kind of... I think that's the same set as Planet Terror. Anyway, okay.
Do you know what I loved about the 80s? They had no sensitivity towards anyone who was different at all.
We've got to be really careful with the wheelchair boy.
No. So, and when audience, let me interject on myself there. When I say what I loved about the 80s, number one,
what I strongly support and financially support.
No, it's in like, it's just so wildly different from right now, so you just get to see stuff which would never fly these days.
The trailer is so good.
It's a bygone era.
Oh,
it's like looking into... It is very much like looking into the past, Isaac.
Yeah.
Before I was born.
I can see a wheelchair speeding down a highway. There's a shotgun firing. There's a woman being dragged across a roof. Oh, man, this looks like a genuine...
Don't give it away.
Genuine fun. Okay, Lewis, I think we are winding down to quiet time without... No, it's not. Just tease them a little bit. One day, the audience will get some more quiet time with me, Isaac Harwood.
I don't want any more of that.
Well, it's better than loud time with Lewis.
Loud time with Lewis is the best.
Bitch. AI. I never had a beard. I never had a beard. Yeah, you kind of got his voice back.
He randomly goes up.
Yeah. All right.
Isaac, so we're going to flip a coin.
Oh, okay. Was this... Okay, I know what you're doing. Yep.
Yeah. Evens or odds?
On a coin?
I don't have a coin, so I have a dice.
You lied. Odds.
Do you want odds?
Odds.
It's evens. Everyone, strap in for the latest episode of Contemplate Stuff.
A seggy.
Little seggy. Mm-hmm. Little cheat. No one else can use that. We're going to patent it, I promise.
I already have.
Oh, excellent. Good. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have a question for you. Isaac, here I'm going to pose a question for you as well. Lord of the Rings. Who's the hero of Lord of the Rings, Isaac?
Sam.
Because your answer's going to be wrong. No. It's Gollum.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
Gollum.
That's too obvious.
Gollum. No, it's not too obvious.
Yeah.
No one's sitting there at home everyone's going, Frodo, and then the intellectuals go,
No one
oh no,
says
it's
Frodo.
Sam, and then the real geniuses like me, we go, it's obviously Gollum. Who else hid the ring for hundreds of years? Who else leads them to Mordor? Who else actually destroys the ring?
Yeah. I know it's Gollum.
Gollum.
Yeah, well, he was at least redeemed. I think it was an accidental hero.
Nah,
Yes.
he meant it.
Accidental the entire way, except leading them to Mordor.
He dived into the fire pit of doom.
I think we've got to leave this to be contemplated, Lewis. That's the point.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you tell us your thoughts. Is Gollum the hero? Is it Sam? Was it Legolas?
Okay, everybody. We've contemplated the bits. Please, like and subscribe. And I haven't got a single fucking review yet. Everyone's like texting me like, oh, it's like surprisingly good. There's a lot of surprise about how good it is, I'll be honest, when people tell me.
Yeah, fuck you,
Fuck you,
bitches.
cunts. And no one's left a review or a single comment. I'll take a disparaging comment at this point. Get a bit of bants going. I want a bit of bants. Yeah. And we're on the threads now, Lewis. We're keeping hip and cool. So yeah, we're on Instagram and Twitter and threads at NB Stuff Podcast. We've got Patreon / Nothing But Stuff. Email.
I promise I'm going to put stuff on there real soon.
Email nothingbutstuff@gmail.com. And that's kind of it. Please come and say hi. We're really, really lonely.
And remember, please like us. Please. Just like us. Just give us a like. A review.
Like us.
Yeah.
Like us. Welcome back, listeners, to The Quiet Time with Isaac. Today we're going to be discussing the gunk that gets caught under your toenails. Crunchy.